In this video, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the different kinds of pastes we have and kind of how to use your warmer to really amplify your sugaring service and make sure that you don't run into any issues. So we have our 4 pastes lined up here. We have hard, which is going to be the firmest paste. It's going to have the most integrity. It's going to be really good for humid climates, people that run really hot. Sometimes people's medium might be someone's hard, someone's pro might be someone's medium. Every esthetician is different, so definitely take that into consideration. Then we have our medium paste here, which is going to be kind of that middle ground. It's great for Brazilians. It's great for beginners to kind of get that hand positioning and kind of understand how sugar works. Then we have our pro paste, which is when you get a little bit more experience, you want to move a little bit quicker. You can also mix paste as well as you're getting comfortable. And then we have our soft paste, which is going to be great for really big body parts like legs, backs, chests, but it's not for everyone. If you run hot, it might not be the best paste selection. If you live in a hot area, it might not be the best. So you really just have to find what works for you, your treatment rooms, and your clients. We have our double warmer over here, which has dials that go from 1 to 5. When you're finding the right temperature to set your sugar at, you're going to need to look at a few different things. You're going to want to start by assessing, do you run hot? Do you run cold? Does your room run hot? Does your room run cold? Is the season different? That will kind of determine kind of that half degree of a difference that you might need to tweak throughout your seasons and your career. Starting with your hard paste, since it is a firmer paste, if you are using hard, you will probably want your warmer set closer to a 4, like a level 4, so kind of on that higher end, just depending on your space and yourself, but I would say about a 4. And then your medium, I would say I usually started at about like a 3.5 is usually where I start my medium out at. Pro, about a 2.5 is usually where I personally start mine at. And then soft, just depending on the area, you could put it in the warmer on a low setting. Sometimes you might even want it just at room temperature, might be the perfect temperature for you. So I would suggest that if you're working with soft paste in our warmers, set it to a pretty low setting like a 1. When you start using paste and taking paste out of the jar, make sure that you are allocating for that and you are adjusting your temperature as you take paste from your jar. So if I had my medium paste in a jar and I had it set at a 3.5 for a full tub of medium, for about, an hour and a half, 2 hours to really fully warm it through at that temp. If I pulled out about a quarter of it doing a bunch of different services throughout the day, you want to bump it down about half a degree. So since this dial goes 1 through 5, I would kind of go at a halfway point. If I started it at a 3.5 and I used a quarter of the tub, I would then bump it to a 3. And then if I used another quarter of the jar, I would bump it to a 2.5. So I would say a good reference is about like a half a degree every quarter of a jar would be kind of a good guideline for you guys to go off of as you're learning. Once you get experienced and you know your treatment room and yourself and your clients, you'll know exactly what you need to do when to adjust it. So looking at the different pastes for different body parts, hard is going to be a paste that not everyone's going to need or use. It is going to be really good for those humid climates or people that run really hot. So sometimes somebody's medium, which is going to be something you'll commonly use in the beginning, and we encourage you to get started with our medium paste, someone's medium might be someone else's hard. I actually had a student who I taught Brazilians to who loved it and did an amazing job, and she runs very hot. She is constantly very hot, very overheated, no matter how cold it is outside. So I encouraged her to actually try a jar of hard for her Brazilian services because medium, even a cold jar of medium, was just not working for her. So I encouraged her to try hard, and she did, and it was the perfect consistency for her Brazilians. It didn't pull the hairs, it wasn't too firm for her, but her body naturally warmed it up a lot since she runs hot. So hard was a really good option for her. Most people will start off with medium when they first kind of get started on their sugaring journey. Medium is great for beginners. It has just enough integrity to kind of have that control and stability, but it's going to have enough pliability to actually be able to spread it on different body parts. Medium is going to be really great for things like areas that run hot, so underarms, Brazilian and bikini areas, even sometimes face, just depending on someone if they run hot. Our Pro Paste, which is another one of our best sellers, so we have medium and pro are going to be kind of the two that you'll really gravitate towards most frequently in most services from a wide range. Pro is going to be really great to incorporate for larger body parts while you're still gaining that confidence. So the Pro is going to be really good for arms, legs, backs, and chests. You want to kind of opt for those softer pastes for those larger body parts just to help with speed and ensure that your client isn't feeling any tugging or tension that could happen if you're going too fast with a firmer paste. It's really important to always make sure that whatever paste you're using, it can only go as fast as that paste will allow you to go. So really listening to your paste and how pliable it is. If you are using medium or hard and you're ripping through your service trying to get it done fast, you're gonna be pulling those hairs, you're gonna be dragging that skin. You need time for it to seep into those hair follicles and do the work. Let the sugar work for you, don't work the sugar. So definitely using these softer pastes on bigger body parts. Soft paste and Pro paste are gonna be really great to mix together if you feel like soft paste is just too soft for you, but you wanna move a lot faster, you wanna do things a little quicker. Mixing Pro and soft for those big body parts, arms, legs, chest, back, those are gonna be really great. When you're working on face, those soft vellus hairs, you often are going to want a softer paste so it can really grip those fine hairs. So using Pro and using soft can be really great for like cheeks and things like that, those little peach fuzzes on our faces. If you have a little bit more of kind of those coarse, more terminal hairs like on the chin area, sometimes upper lip, you might want maybe medium, it has a little more integrity, or maybe a combo of Pro and medium.